Live chat. So I want you guys to get in the room. I want you guys to go ahead and make sure that you share this video with your network. I want you guys to make sure that you tag your friends. We are going to be having a really serious talk today. I want to get to the bottom of something that's kind of, I feel like an open, what is the word that I'm looking for? Like kind of like an open secret in a way. And a topic that I think is really prevalent among competitors. So I got you guys right here on my screen. I want to make sure that you share this video again, tag your friends, share this video, and get the word out. Let's go ahead and get started. So what are we talking about today? Today, I am talking about eating disorders among competitors. And specifically, I know that my title says eating disorders among fitness competitors or figure competitors, but really I feel like it's a above across the spectrum. No matter where you compete, a lot of competitors are dealing with this issue, and I want to get to the bottom of it. So today's video is all about and for those of you who currently compete, who are dealing with this mind taffy stuff, who might have come from a background of dealing with eating disorders on your own, and who feel like they're struggling or teetering on the brink of unhealthy habits when it comes to your training, your nutrition, how your approach is. Now, for those of you that are meeting me for the first time, you're like, who the hell is this chick? My name is IFBB Pro Roxy Beckles, and I've been at this game for a long time, 20 years in the fitness industry. So this is my passion, just sharing my voice and hopefully bringing a sense of science, of things that make common sense when it comes to this training and nutrition thing and what really gets results. So I want to go ahead and jump right in. You guys know that I always keep notes on everything. So I have some notes. You're going to see me looking at my screen to make sure that we have everything. If you have questions or comments or anything like that, make sure that you go ahead and post them. If I don't get to answer your questions and stuff like that on the blog, on our talk right now, I'll definitely go ahead and hit them up in the comment section afterwards. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So one of the things that is, that we can say is true about what we love about the sport is that the bodybuilding industry right now is exploding. And it's exciting, to see that, people of any walks of life can decide to step on a stage and present their best. No matter where you're from, no matter how old you are, no matter what your background, if you want to participate in the sport, you can. And the other thing that's really exciting about the times that we live in today, which I feel is really different than, let's say, a couple of years ago, even when I started competing. I mean, I started competing in 2010. And to tell you the truth, I've been following bodybuilding since the 80s, since I was a little kid. And I actually tried to compete back in the 90s, back in about like 99, 2000. Got sick with pneumonia, couldn't do it, had to get out of the show. But it's always been something that is a passion of mine. And the thing that, the way we stayed connected to the competition world was through fitness magazines or message boards and forums and stuff like that. But nowadays we have social media, and social media has exploded, of course, and allows us to really stay connected. And a lot of what we're seeing online when it comes to people's exposure to the bodybuilding world is through Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and that. And it's great. And that's really across the spectrum when it comes to fitness in general. It's great. But here's a thing that where it starts to get murky, especially in this topic of, people dealing with their own disordered eating habits and stuff like that, is that a lot of what we're seeing online, honestly, sometimes people are putting up things that are not even true. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there. People that you follow aren't always being transparent, and this can have a detrimental effect on you as a viewer and as a follower, and even as content creators themselves. Like, for instance, a couple of years ago, there was a young woman. She was probably about in her 18, no older than 21 or so. And her name was like Essena O'Neill. And it was a big thing because she was like this huge fitness influencer, right? And what she did was, she shared her life. She shared her fitness stuff. She had beautiful photos and everything was just so perfect on the outside and so, fitness and everything is so great. but she was suffering, like really suffering with eating disorders, suffering with low self-esteem, suffering with all this mind tappy stuff that the viewer didn't know. Her followers had no idea until one day she came out and said, this is all a lie and everything that I put out there is not true. And I'm suffering in my own ways with my own, excuse my French, but my own shit. And how refreshing would it be as like viewers, content consumers, if we had that kind of transparency in our world? You know, that's why for me as a coach, as a fitness professional, as a competitor, as a pro, as someone who's actually reached the top of the sport, having competed at the Olympia, I'm always transparent with you guys. You can come to my personal blog, roxybeckles.com, and read about my path, how I was from my very first workout as an NPC athlete all the way to where I am today, and being transparent and talking about the stuff that I go through. And I think that's so important. Enough competitors don't talk about this stuff. And here's the thing. There's a lot of people out there who come from a past of disordered eating. There are a lot of people out there who are coming from a point where they're working with people who might put them in a mindset to develop disordered eating. And they're suffering in silence. And they're looking around at other people and judging. You compare yourself. Compare yourself to, why can't I be like this person? Or why is it that they seem so perfect and I have everything wrong with me? And so I want to talk to you. And I want to tell you that you're not alone. You're not alone in this. And if I can just break through to one of you today, that is my goal for today's video. So one of the things that I want to just really get into is the fact that, first of all, you have to have the ability to step outside of yourself and be honest. You have to have the ability to just look at things for what they are. If you're someone who's running away from a past of dealing with food issues and you think that taking on a better lifestyle is going to help you to get healthier, which it can, but you see yourself spiraling down, step back and make sure that you start addressing those issues in a way that's very intelligent and healthy for you. Seek help and really reach out to the people who can help you to get to that next level and to get there in a healthy way. One of the things that really irks me as well, and this whole thing when we talk about eating disorders and how they're an underlying thing in the fitness industry, especially with our competitors, is also the fact that when you do go out to seek help, you hire a coach or you work with someone. There are some people out there who just don't have the experience, who don't have the wherewithal or the know-how to work with nutrition in a way that allows you to have some freedom and allow you to approach things in a healthy way and to do this smarter. And they're just perpetuating these same kind of ideals to you even further. If you are in that kind of situation, you've got to speak up. You've got to be wise enough to kind of step back and step away. Now, how does this happen when it comes to like the people that you're working with? How does this whole thing like snowball? I get so many people that come to me. I get women. I work with women. You guys know that. I get so many women that come to me talking about, they hired someone and they thought this person was great. Social media looked good. Clients always look like they're doing well. They get into the mix and they find that it's a different story behind what's being put out there. They find that that coach actually helped them to develop these things that are like, make it difficult for them to do what they have to do to reach that next level. What's going on? Let's go ahead and talk about it. So one of the things, if your coach is prescribing you low calories, lots of cardio, overtraining, not listening to you when you tell them that there could be an issue with your body, you're not feeling well, you're sluggish, you're tired every day, you're super hungry, you're foggy brained, and they're not listening. Red flag. Run away from that, you guys. The next thing that you should possibly be aware of, if you have a coach who you're working with and you're seeking help to get over whatever mind taffy you've already dealt with, or if you're in a situation where you feel like this is being perpetuated, if you have someone who you're working with who focuses solely on the scale, focuses solely on numbers. You know those people who are like, all right, we got to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. And if you don't get there, all hell breaks loose. Walk away. That stuff is not healthy, because here's the thing. When you're looking at progress, when you're looking at how to do things better, when you're looking at how the totality of what you're doing is affecting your body and how you're getting to the next level, it's not just about the scale. It's about how you look in the mirror. It's about how your clothes fit. It's about how your measurements are coming down. It's about how you're feeling physiologically. It's about how you're doing mentally. All of these things do play a major role. So if you're working with someone who solely focuses on numbers and that's it, you might want to decide whether or not that's something that's healthy for you, or if it's something that's going to just perpetuate negative thoughts about training, nutrition, and the things that should be actually empowering you. The next thing I want you to pay attention to and ask yourself, and again, guys, I mean, for a lot of you might be sitting here nodding your head like, yeah, I'm going through this. I don't share these things with you in order to make somebody else's life miserable or to put down somebody else. I share these things because first, I care. I've been in your situation. I know what it's like to do things that don't feel good innately. And to see the effects of keep on doing that stuff and how it can actually, excuse my French again, fuck up your body. Point blank. I've seen it. I've been through it. So when I talk to you guys about this stuff, it's just to open your eyes and to command a higher standard from those that you hire to work with you towards your goals. Okay, so just keep that in mind. The next thing I definitely want you to pay attention to when it comes to whether or not the person that you're working with is helping you to perpetuate these thoughts and these disordered eating habits, shaming clients and blaming them for the lack of progress when it could be something deeper like hormonal issues versus compliance. Have you ever worked with someone, and I hear about these stories all the time, where it's like, they are, you send in your update and you send in your stuff. And then they start like looking at your stuff and emailing you back, talking to you on the phone, whatever. And it's like they blame you like, no, the reason why you're not seeing any changes is because you're cheating on your diet. You're not working hard enough. You're not doing this. And you're like, I am though. I'm doing everything you told me to do. And something does not feel right. But that person is not listening. They're putting you down and blaming you. There comes a point when a coach like myself, who has experience in this and who has seen this, will be honest with the client and say, hey, look, you've been complying. You've been doing everything you can. I'm going to tell you something you may or may not want to hear. Here's the thing. There could be some hormonal things going on. Let's have your thyroid checked. Oh, you've had your thyroid checked and your doctor said it was normal. What are your numbers? Because guess what? A lot of folks are walking around here with suboptimal thyroid levels, and it's thwarting their progress. So if you're on the low side of normal, you're only looking at TSH or T4. You're not looking at T3, RT3, and all that stuff, free T3, free T4. If you're not looking at a full panel of your numbers, you don't know what's going on. Let's go deeper with that. Let's take a look at your adrenals and see if cortisol is raising through the roof throughout the entire day or doing things that it shouldn't be doing. Maybe it's flat. Maybe it's high. Maybe it's low. Looking at certain things like that and making sure that the things that control your metabolism are functioning well. That's what a real coach will do. Someone who's in the know, who understands physiology and how the body works. So if you're working with people who blame you for not seeing progress when you're doing everything you can, red flag, step back and find someone who will listen to you. Listen to you. The next thing I want you to pay attention to, for some people, teaching their clients to fear entire food groups and specific food groups while dieting and not allowing a flexible approach is just what they do. You ever work with someone where like you can't eat carbs at all? Like when you look at your plan, like you might eat oats and stuff like that, but you can't have bread, you can't have pasta. Oh, you gotta only have like, I seen plans that said like 10 raspberries. So like, are you sitting there picking out 10 raspberries to put in your food? You know what I mean? Or 5 stalks of asparagus. Like, what the hell? Talking about starchy carbs and fibrous vegetables and how that's going to... Lord Jesus, I mean, there's some folks out there that do some wacky things. And that's not to say that, sometimes you need to go to those kinds of extremes to see things happen. However, when they are inflexible, and when you start to get to a point whereas, like, I have had people come to me like, I am afraid to eat carbs if I eat rice, if I eat potatoes, if I eat like just normal things, how that's gonna blow up my body because my last coach never allowed me to eat that way. My last coach never allowed me to have fats in my plan. Like, I can only have like MCT oil or like stuff like that, or fish oil. I can only have like 10 almonds and things like that, you guys, is not normal. Yes, we have to restrict our food when we want to lose weight and change our bodies. But if you're doing things that are only going to exacerbate your already fearful mindset when it comes to nutrition and how to nurture the body to the next level, how you need to eat to be lean, you need to take a step back and see if there is a way to do things better. Okay? And the final thing that I would say where you get trapped into this whole thing with disordered eating, how it can actually aggrandize by way of coaching and working with the wrong people, or even in your own mindset if you're not working with anyone or you're dealing with that again, is looking at everything from a one-size-fits-all approach, kind of a cookie cutter kind of approach. Like, you have coaches out there who only do like, you have to be keto. The only way you're going to lose fat is if you're keto, and everybody's got to be keto and this, that, you know what I mean? Or you got to be paleo, or everybody's got a carb cycle, or everybody's got to do if it's macros. There's only one way to do everything, and you've got to fit in that little box in order to make things work. But what if it doesn't work for you? What if that's not what needs to happen for you? Now you're set into this whole motion of just a fucked up reality about how things should work for you and how physiology and science work in this game. So all these things, red flags, you're an individual. And if you're not being treated as such, you got to run in the other direction, because it's only going to lead you down the path to more trouble with food and your relationship with it, and a skewed sense of reality as to what really works in the end. Now, I want to actually go ahead into a case study, and I want to talk about a couple of clients that I've met along the way who've come to me with these disordered eating patterns and what I had to do as a coach to help them to overcome them. Now, one thing I should say right off the bat, you guys, I am not a therapist, okay? So when I do have someone that does come to me dealing with these food issues, dealing with these anxieties about their body, last week's video, we talked about body dysmorphia. If you haven't seen that, on Facebook, go to the video section of my profile and look up body dysmorphia in competitors. Very important topic. On YouTube, you can go ahead. I'll put the link for you guys in the video description and in the little information circle at the top of the video, so you can go ahead and go back and look on that. And, some people, when you look in the mirror, the thing that's staring back at you, you don't really see. You see something that's completely different that forces you into, today, part 2, disordered eating patterns when it comes to getting to your goals. And so I, as a coach, I've coached so many people at this point. I've seen this and I can identify it. And as someone who's gone through, my early years when I was a teenager into my early 20s and stuff like that, I dealt with some food issues to a great degree that I had to learn how to overcome. So I can spot this even more when I see it because I've been through it. So I had this one client, right? And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I want you guys to realize you are not alone. Okay, and some ways that you can kind of figure your way to the next level and what you have to do to get yourself forward. So I had this one client, amazing. She was so just fantastic, young, vibrant, very young. And she had just done her first show. She was working with another coach, and she had won the overall title in that. And she was so freaking determined to get her pro card, to get to that next level. And she had a lot of potential. She was a tiny little thing though. She was so freaking tiny. And she was just so highly driven as an individual to get to where she wanted to get to. She did everything that she could and stuff. And she worked really hard. But what I started to realize the more that we worked together was that her relationship with food and the things that she would do as far as like, training is concerned. I tell her to do a certain amount of cardio. She's doing more than she needs to. I tell her to eat certain things. She's not eating what she should be eating. Sometimes she's cutting her food. And as a coach, there comes a point where it's like you have to be so ingrained with the people that you're working with. That's why I don't take on a whole bunch of people. I only like to work with like the best people and people who are really determined to reach that next level. So that way I can actually interact with my clients. And I'm watching this woman, this young woman with all this potential to actually get to the higher level of the sports slowly deteriorate. So we're going through the season and we went through a small off season for her. And she wanted to go out right away. She's already qualified for the national level. And I'm telling this girl, whoa, slow down. You're not going to be ready. You're going to be outsized by those girls there. And I don't want you to go out there until you're ready. And it just got to a point where it's like, she just became obsessed. She just became so engrossed in like the counting of every calorie and this, that, and the third, and anxieties about this. And there came a point where I had to tell her, darling, you've got to step back. You got to come off that ledge. We can't go forward with you competing and wanting to reach this goal without a healthy mindset. You're out there telling your followers and the people that are seeing you on social media who look up to you that this is a way of life, that this is a way of being, that this is a lifestyle, but everything that you're doing behind the scenes is completely opposite of that, even despite having a coach there with you. And that's one of the fine lines that those of you who are working with people who might be damn good, but you're not listening, where you have to take a step back and really be honest with yourself. She got out on the stage, much to my chagrin. I allowed her to step on the national level because she wanted to, and I wanted her to see what was out there. I wasn't going to hold somebody back completely from their dream, especially when she actually had the potential to go out there and do well, and just experience it. And she got creamed like I expected. But, she came out of the experience being able to look back and see what the hell she was doing and how this was just a really unhealthy pattern for her. And she finally started to listen to the things that I'd been saying to her. And she had to make the decision to stop coaching and get help. And that's part of my job too. You have to learn how to say no to a client and let them do what they have to do so they can reach that next level. So I let her go off and do her thing. And, we actually I still see her on social media and stuff like that. And she's doing so much better. She's healthier. This person is not so much pursuing that whole, thing with the competing, this, that, and the other. And as a coach, that is my job too, to help someone see what's in front of them and the problems that are there, and to hopefully lead them down the path to helping them to fix that. So if that story relates to you, know that you're not alone and that there are ways that you can stop. Please do, and get help before you decide to continue down this path of competing, because you're only going to perpetuate the things that are harming you even more if you don't stop and actually take care of things. Here's another story. I had a woman come to me. And this woman was a little bit older now. This was a young woman. This woman was more in her 40s. And she'd been someone who'd always trained. But what she realized about herself was that she was really into over-exercising. Too much cardio, not enough food, fear of carbs, fear of everything, fear of just stopping cardio. And she wanted to get off the hamster wheel. So this isn't just a thing that young people deal with. This is women, in their 30s, 40s, and whatever. When you come to that realization, like, holy shit, I'm not doing things a smart way. You've got to sometimes just step back and figure out, how the hell can I do this better? So we work together. And it's not an easy road, you guys. It's really not. It's about what we had to do with her is like really just relearned everything from scratch. Redoing her diet, making her see that eating more, eating to be lean and feeding your body, how that can actually help to change you, and learn not to be afraid of calories. She had to learn how to separate herself from that over-exercising thing. We all get into the cardio, especially when you're working with people or you just have the perception that doing more is what your body needs to do in order for you to be better, to be leaner, and all this other stuff. But you don't realize how that stuff can actually have a detrimental effect on your adrenals and on your thyroid hormone, and how those two things in and of themselves, let's not even talk about your sex hormones, like your testosterone levels going low. Even as women, we do have testosterone and your other sex hormones being thrown completely out of whack, and how all of that will have an effect on your body and the progress that you see. So you get yourself into this conundrum. And so taking a step back with her and learning how to do cardio in a smarter way, less duration, more about intensity, more about focusing on performance, more about focusing on the things that'll actually push her forward in a way that's healthy, and relating that to progress and to self-empowerment. That was a really big, important thing for her. Taking a step back from competing goals until she had that all figured out, until her base and foundation was that she can look at her nutrition in a way of, how can I use this food to nourish me? Taking that step back, that's what helped her to move forward. So that way, when it was time for her to prep, and it took some months for us to get to that point where it was like time for her to say, hey, let's try this out. And she had a really great showing on stage. She had a great time. It was a bucket list item, and she was able to do it successfully. So those are just two examples. And I have other examples of people that I work with that we've had to stop and do that. And that's what real coaching is all about. You know what I mean? It's not just about, I tell clients this all the time. And I talk about this on my social media all the time. It's not just about handing someone a training program and a diet and saying, hey, contact me in a week and let's, figure out where your progress is. You got to do deep work, you guys. Some of you are going to have to change your entire lifestyles and the way that you approach your training and your nutrition, and be willing to do that in order to get to the next level, and just completely blank slate yourself. And if you're dealing with these anxieties, sometimes a coach isn't what you need. You need to go and work with a therapist and someone to help you mentally. And then when you're able to get past that point, to come on back and learn how to do things the right way. You know what I mean? So these are just, like I said, just a couple of people that I've experienced firsthand as a coach and how I was able to help them. So now that I've kind of identified what's going on and, the problems that you guys could be running into, the mindset things that you're dealing with, I want to go ahead and talk about some of the things more specifically that you can do to help yourself, just out of this situation, and things that you can do to kind of deal and cope. So I already touched upon this. The first things first is don't be afraid to seek help. Don't be afraid to seek help. So many competitors, so many women, even women who don't compete but are just really into training and really want to better their bodies physically, deal with this and deal with it silently. This thing is like the biggest open secret in the fitness industry right now. Like, people dealing with disordered eating and thinking and how that's really affecting them. So if you've dealt with eating disorders in the past and feel like this is something resurfacing for you, I want you to make sure that you go ahead and ask for the help. Here's the other thing I want you to think about. Fitness coaches are not qualified to heal you if you do have an eating disorder. Hire a coach only after you've dealt with all of this stuff and you've cleared yourself from that mind taffy. So for me, when I have someone that I'm working with that I feel is going through some really tough stuff, if they can't conquer it on their own, I'll tell them to go get some help, and come on back when you're ready, and make sure that you're in a point of some recovery. So keep that in mind, guys, because you doing the same thing over with this stuff can only perpetuate things further and make it worse. So your health and your sanity come first. Once you're in a place where you have a better relationship with food and your mindset, then you should hire a qualified coach. Now, what does that mean? Working with someone who can be the best option for you to be able to make progress without having to be obsessive with the numbers and that whole aspect of the game. So when you're interviewing people or you're looking over their social media and the things that they say on their blog, you want to look at people that say like, hey, it's not just about the scale, but we also look at your photos, your measurements. We're looking at how your pictures look from week to week, how you look when you look at yourself in the mirror, how your clothes are fitting, how you're feeling, biofeedback. You want to gravitate towards people who talk like that, and who actually believe that as a measure of progress, not just the numbers on the scale. Because you go back into that mindset, it's just going to make you crazier further. The next thing, you want to definitely take the easy to fall victim of tasks of counting calories and macros out of the game and put it in the hands of someone else. For me, when I work with clients, especially when we first start working together, I don't want my clients to actually have to worry about counting numbers and this, that, and the other. I really want them to start having a healthy relationship with food. I want them to not have a fear if they see like, oh my God, she's giving me 2,000 calories. How am I supposed to eat this? And then they start screwing up what I want them to do. I just want you to follow your meal plan. Yeah, you'll start to notice, oh my God, it's a lot of food. But when you start training, you see your body respond. It's like, oh wow, I get it now. Then I can give you some numbers for you to know exactly where you are. So sometimes taking that micromanagement of having to count every calorie, having to do if it fits your macros, having to do this all on your own can kind of just alleviate the stress for you to really learn how to hone into your nutrition without all of that drama, So considering that when you're looking at who you want to work with to help you to take you to the next level once you're ready to go, super duper important. Work with someone who has flexible dieting as the cornerstone to their approach to nutrition. And that's even in contest prep. Now, when I say flexible dieting, you guys, I don't mean free-for-all eating. Like I get to eat pizza and donuts and burgers and fries every day. That's not flexible dieting. That's fucking retarded. Okay, if I could be quite honest with you, it's just stupid. But when I talk about flexible dieting, I more or less mean you're working with someone who doesn't just tell you that there's only one way of doing things, that allows you to sub foods out as you need to. You don't have to eat freaking chicken every single day for the rest of your life just because it keeps you lean, when there are other proteins on this planet that you can eat to help you get to the next level. And they allow you to swap things out in a way that keeps your diet exactly the same calorically and macro wise. For my clients, we have a full food calculator where it's whatever's on your plan, you can put it into the calculator and the amount that's on your plan, and it's going to feed you back a whole plethora of other foods that you can sub it out for, and the amount that you need to do calorically to make it match on the plan. So my clients can eat whatever they want and change up their diets as often as they want and do it in a way that doesn't thwart progress. That's what flexible dieting is, okay? It's not eating pizza and donuts and that every day. So sometimes learning how to do that makes you fear food less. It makes you have a healthier relationship with what you can do and the possibilities and how they're endless when it comes to what can nourish your body and get you to that next level. And that's what this game is all about. You know what I mean? At least that's what it's about for me. Because when I learned how to have freedom with my nutrition, that's when my body started to take off. And I try to impart that with every single person that comes my way, whether they're a client or not. It could be you just sitting here watching this video, taking notes and letting it hit you. You know what I'm talking about. So apply that the next time you decide to hire and work with someone. And then here's the other thing that I'm going to say, and this is going to ruffle some of your feathers, but it has to be said. We are living in this amazing era, like I said, social media, where everybody can be online and be whatever they want to be, which is freaking great, except for the part where you want to hire that person to do something for you. And, people can just start listing, oh, I'm an expert, fitness expert, nutrition expert, and I'm a celebrity trainer. You ain't no goddamn celebrity. Who the hell knows you? Who knows you? You ain't nobody know you. And you don't train no celebrities, so how are you a celebrity? I digress. But here's the thing, the best coaches out there, the ones that really know what they're doing, the ones that are impacting their clients' lives every single day, sometimes they're the ones that don't have the huge following. Sometimes they're the ones that are out there talking the way that I do, very openly, honestly, nothing to hide, sharing their knowledge. And guess what? People don't want to hear that. So they're not going to be always the ones with the biggest numbers. They're not going to always be the ones shouting from the rooftop, look at me, look at me, look at me. Because for us, sharing our knowledge is really super important, more so than sharing a picture of my abs or my ass. You know what I mean? The other thing that you should keep in mind is that someone who's actually coaching, a lot of these folks out there, they're not coaches, they're online trainers. They're giving you a diet, they're giving you a training program, they're saying check in with me once a week. That's not coaching. Coaching means that they are taking you under their wing. They are mentoring you. They are educating you. They are making sure to approach the mind tappy and the things that are holding you back. putting that mirror up to your face like, hey, these are the things that have kept you on a plateau for the last 10 years. Are you going to go forward and change that, or you want to stay exactly the same? How are we going to work through that? Those are people who are actually coaching, and that's not going to come cheap, you guys. You know, some people are looking for that $35 a month coach or even $100 a month, and you're going to get that. You're going to get that level of work, and it's not going to be the level that some of you want. So don't be afraid to work with someone who you really have to invest in, because if you have to invest in you in the end, you're going to normally get what you pay for. So I like to put that out there. It ruffles a lot of feathers, but you know what? That's just what it is. You pay for quality. Don't be afraid of that. Don't shy away from it. Nowadays is more important more than ever before to make sure that the people that you hire, who you put your health in their hands, are qualified and care enough about you to not have to work with 1,000 clients and to make their ends meet or whatever, that you're willing to work with someone who is willing to be right here with you. So important. Had to get that out there. Now, for those of you who are dealing with disordered eating patterns, I want to shift now specifically to my competitors. And what I want to tell you right now is that the urge to get on stage, the urge to do what we love, the urge to show our hard work, that rush of contest prep, that rush of seeing your body ripped to shreds week after week, day after day. I love it. I love it. I understand. But you got to take a step back, especially when you feel like what you're doing is starting to be unhealthy for you. Especially when you feel like what you're doing is leading you down a very slippery slope. So what I want to say to you is don't rush into your next prep. Make sure that you allow yourself to also have enough time to prep. Taking time off between your shows, you guys, is so important for your hormones, for your mind, for your enthusiasm in the sport, for your ability to move forward. And then when you're ready to start off again, giving yourself enough time to be able to reach that next level and show that potential that you've worked so hard in the off season for is dually important. You know, so for some of you, 12 weeks isn't enough time to get ready for a show, honey. I know I need 20 weeks to get ready for a show. The first 4 weeks is just trying to get my diet together, taking out the wine that I like to drink all the time, taking out the sweets that I like to eat, and ordering out all the time, getting back on a meal plan and just getting that like groove again. And then for 16 weeks, really focusing on a contest prep. So don't rush it, especially when you know that you come from a history of having like weird stuff when it comes to like training and nutrition, and how that can really like aggrandize the more that you prep. Spend time in your off season looking at the things that are going to help you to improve from show to show. You know, like for instance, like raising your calories and being okay with that. Being okay with not being ripped to shreds all year round, 365 days a year. If you're going to improve and optimize your metabolism for your next show, you're going to have to put on some weight. Watch my video about body dysmorphia in competitors so you can get some things to help you to cope with that whole process and learn how it's a part of the process as well as being super lean is. Some of you guys really need to do that as competitors to be able to do this and do this in a healthier way, especially in the long term. I posted a video the other day of a 70-year-old woman on the stage rocking it out as a bodybuilder. Honey, you know she makes this a lifestyle, and she's doing it all the way into her way up masters. Why not you? Hell, I know I am. If I'm a pro, if I'm 70 years old and they got the masters category and I feel like prepping for a show, you think I ain't gonna be out there in about 40 years talking about quarter turn to the right? Y'all gonna be like, Roxy, yes, but that's because I have a healthy relationship now, you know, with eating and training and all this stuff. So I'm telling you guys, like, take time to care for yourself. You know, it's so important. And the next thing that I would say as well is for those of you that are going into that off season, be sure that you get yourself to a physical point before you prep, whereas you don't have to move heaven and earth to get there. So that way you don't have to default to doing 2 hours of cardio a day, super low calories, cutting out all carbs, cutting out all fat. Get yourself to a point whereas like you're gonna gain some weight off season. But again, like me, I take 20 weeks to get ready for a show, but the first 4 weeks is just getting some fluff off and get myself so that way I can ease into things very, like clockwork. So important. That's going to set you up for a better prep and being able to be leaner and healthier along the way of your prep. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about for you competitors out there, okay, is what happens after this show. Post-show is where a lot of people who deal with eating disorders, who deal with body dysmorphia, where you have a freaking meltdown. All right, so here are my tips of what you can do after your show to ensure that you can have a healthier relationship with food, you can have a healthier relationship with your body, and this whole process of conscious prepping and doing what we love in the bodybuilding sport. Make sure that you have an exit plan. Do not step off the stage without having a reverse diet in place. For some of you guys, listen, let's be honest out there. You got to use fat burners out there. Some of you guys are manipulating yourself hormonally, through, whatever. And it's really important that you reverse all the stuff that you're doing. So that way you don't see huge rebounds of 30 and 40 pounds like the week after your show. I have rebounded that much. But you know what? When I rebounded that much, it was because of certain things like me pulling water super hard with the diuretic. And then when I got off the stage, like let's say I did like bad or something, I would just like eat everything, eat all the things, drink all the things, and wouldn't give a crap. But I knew that I was going to be like a puff muffin for like a week or two after the show. I would blow up like 30 pounds. It'd be water, but it happens. But for some of y'all, that's going to freak you the hell out. So don't do it. I will never do that again. I've probably done it about 2 or 3 times. Never will I do that again. But don't do that kind of stuff. Have an exit plan. Know what you're going to do when you get off the stage. Enjoy a big meal. Enjoy it. And the next day after your show, get loosely back onto your plan. Enjoy another free meal. That's what I tell my clients to do. And then by that Monday after the show, get back on your plan and start to reverse diet. Give yourself some time off from the gym, like for a week. Let your body just kind of like replenish itself. Go in and do a light workout, but don't push it too hard. And then slowly start to add calories back in week to week. About 250 to 500 calories, a week. Watch your body, how it starts to respond. Sometimes you might need a little bit less if you have a slower metabolism. And just be smarter about how you do things. And don't freak out about going from super shredded to not so shredded, looking like maybe a track star instead of a contest prep ready figure competitor or whatever you compete in. Having that kind of relationship with your food, your nutrition, this whole process of contest prep, and just what happens to the body physiologically when you push it to the extremes of what we do for our sport and the aftermath can help you to have a really greater control of this whole thing and not develop eating disorders in the process. So that's it. This was a long conversation. It was a deep conversation. And like I said, you guys, I really feel like it's an important conversation. We don't talk about this stuff enough in the industry. And it's kind of like as though there's like this taboo thing, like, oh, you're talking about eating disorders and the ugly side of competing. But I think when we discuss the topics that really need to be out there and do it in an intelligent way, it allows people to just be more engaged in the sport and to actually truly see this as a lifestyle and the things that can push them forward positively. We all have gotten into the sport because we thought it would be something empowering. And when it starts to be something that you dread, that holds you back, that like makes you feel like crap, you've got to take a step back and look at what's going on and address those things first. You don't want to go down the path of being unhealthy, being a slave to calories, to counting calories all the time, or macros, being afraid to eat carbohydrates, being afraid to eat fats, being afraid of food in general. You don't want to go down that path. The more intelligently you can do this, the better. The better. Now, I want to finish off today by saying 2 things. Number 1, of course, if you have any comments or questions or anything like that, post them in the comment section and I'll definitely follow up after the broadcast or this video and add my thoughts to whatever you've said. Share this video, tag your friends. Again, I think this is a really important video, topic of conversation that needs to be had. and that we need to open up the floor for discussion. Now, if what I'm saying to you really resonates with you and you love it, you want some more, listen, get on my email list, okay? That's rockstarfitness.com/email list. For those of you that are watching this on my Facebook page, click the sign up button at the top of my profile and it'll take you right there to the link to go ahead and give me your email address and your name, and we will stay in contact with, all kinds of stuff. I share a lot of really great content on my email list that doesn't always get seen on my social media and stuff across my blog, personal emails, to you, to motivate you, to keep you focused and stuff like that. Video series that I've done that I think that you should take a look at. I'll send that all to you directly. And for those of you, if you are watching this video and you just know that you're in a point where you want to do things better, where you want to work with someone who can help you to combat a lot of these mind-happy issues that you're dealing with, who knows that there's got to be a better way of doing things. You've been doing things the same way for a while and it's just not working for you anymore. Maybe you're working with someone right now that you feel is just not a right fit for you, and you're really trying to better your life, transform your body, get to the next level, whether it means stepping on a stage or not, and you want to find that right match. My way of working, my coaching practice is all about that. It's actual coaching. It's taking on a client and mentoring them. It's about giving you a diet and training program to help you to establish, the way of life that needs to happen for you to get to that next level. But also it's about tackling the mindset, tackling the mind taffy, getting over the hurdles and the roadblocks, the things that you tell yourself, the negative conversations that you're having, and how to combat that and get over them so that way we can establish new habits and new ways of doing things that are going to enhance your life, not only in the gym, but out of the gym, not only on the stage, but off the stage, and to help you to really use fitness in a way to empower you. Because here's the thing, how we feel about ourselves when we look in the mirror has a huge impact on everything in our lives, from our career to our relationships. And so for me as a coach, it's about having a client to be able to unlock all of these things that can be so great. I live my life like that every single day, and I want to share that with you and teach you how to have that. Now, this way of coaching is not for everyone. This is for those who are really serious. I don't take everyone on, you guys. So set up a time to talk with me. Click the link in the description of this video, and we'll go ahead and take a time to sit and speak for about an hour or so about what your goals are, what's holding you back, what's frustrating you, what you need from me to help you to get to the next level, and determine if this thing between you and I would even work at all. And if it doesn't, great. There's other people that you can work with. But if it does, and you feel like, yeah, this feels right, come on, let's go, let's do it, because that's what I'm here on this planet for. That's my calling, and that's my passion, So for those of you that need that want that are really serious about investing in you and to do things the right way, stop spending your time and money on people that are just not on that level for you, come on over. Let's go ahead and just talk. That's it. Let's just have a conversation and see what your options are. I'll put that description in the link again for those of you that are watching this on Facebook and also on YouTube. And for YouTube, in the little icon box with the eye on it, click on that and you'll see about how to set up a complimentary appointment. You guys, this has been a long talk today. I didn't expect to get so deep into this, but I will go ahead and also put a link for this on my website for those of you that want to actually, refer back to this video and save it. It'll be on my website, rockstarfitness.com, as well, so you can follow that. I've got to go. I've got some client calls to make. I got some plans to work on, and I got to get my day started as well. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. I look forward to your comments, and thank you so much for joining me today. Toodles, you guys. Bye.